Justin Leonard had a front row seat for a lot of that. He joins me now, the NBC Sports Golf Channel analyst, U.S. Ryder Cup member of that winning team back some 21 years ago. It's kind of scary. And of course, the winner of the Open in '97. You've seen the documentary. I want to know what you think when you listen and watch to that segment there about Butch and Tiger's swing, as you were right in the middle of all that. That was some of your best golf at that point as well.
It really was. I was playing some great golf, and I sent out a tweet earlier this week, and I did a little research. I finished 71 shots behind Tiger Woods in those four majors that he won during the Tiger Slam. And I was playing some really good golf at that time. And again, like I said, that's when the callus began to develop on my forehead, because we were all trying to figure out how are we going to beat this guy. And we quickly realized we probably weren't, at least not for some period of time.
But did you see the stat that you should have put out there? You finished second to Tiger in one significant category. In the Tiger Slam, those four events, the three in 2000, the U.S. Open, the British Open, the PGA, and then winning the 2001 Masters, you finished second. You made 41 bogeys in those four events. Second to Tiger, who made a total of 23 bogeys in 16 rounds. Just think about that for a second. Major championship golf, 16 rounds, a total of 23 bogeys. It's ridiculous stuff.
It really was. And I think in the locker room, we were all looking at each other going, what are we going to do against this guy? I mean, we literally had no chance. And for better insight, I've seen the Tiger Slam. I watched it this week. It's fascinating, and the relationship between he and Butch Harmon. There's a couple great stories with his caddy at the time, Steve Williams. Really, it is must-watch TV.
Yeah, and reliving those events as we were there covering, you obviously playing. It was really exciting to go back and watch it. And also on the heels of the Jordan documentary, you've seen a documentary about greatness. This is more about that one great stretch. That number 23 bogeys. Of course, Jordan's number is 23, of course. Tiger won the U.S. Open and the Open Championship that year by a combined 23 strokes. He won one by 15 and one by 8. All of it was silly stuff. So the year before that, the big news in golf was 1999 when this guy made a putt to help the U.S. do something. I just love to relive it. Let's go back to Ben Crenshaw's comments in the press conference Saturday night, Brookline, the country club in Massachusetts, and the U.S. team was in trouble against the Europeans. And Ben Crenshaw gave us some words that we'll never forget if we love golf.
I'm going to leave y'all on one thought, and I'm going to leave. I'm a big believer in fate. I have a good feeling about this. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Well, you can relive the reality of what happened that next day. Saturday on NBCSN, our NBC Sports from the Vault will be that 99 Ryder Cup Sunday. What was that Saturday night like for all of you guys on the team?
Well, it was pretty down leaving the golf course as a team, and then seeing Ben Crenshaw, pointing his finger. I think really he was just trying to get out of the press room because he must have had a vodka and grapefruit juice waiting for him on the car back to the hotel. But it was one of those things where, we thought, okay, I remember looking at Davis Love and going, okay, he's lost it. We were already back to the hotel. And then when we got their pairings that day for the Sunday singles, we felt like we had a really distinct advantage. We front loaded our lineup on that Sunday.
Yeah.
Tiger was playing early. Hal Sutton, David Duval, Phil Mickelson, Davis Love. All those guys were playing so well during the week. So we put them out first. And Mark James had three players that hadn't played a match the first 3 days. And he sent them out in the first 6 matches. And so we felt like, okay, this is what we need. We need to get momentum on our side. And we've got a great chance to do that. And really, when we saw the pairings, and of course, Ben's, touchy-feely, I've got a good feeling about this. All of a sudden, there was a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel.
What's the best story on the 45-foot putt you made on 17? The one that, when you tell it the most, because you get asked about it all the time, that you see people go, really? I didn't know that. What's the best story about the putt?
Well, after I make the putt, and I start to back up because the ball's breaking to the right, it goes in, and this guy that I high five right there in the red shirt, he gives me a
Right.
hug. I remember his badge said clergy on it. And how he was so close to the green, I have no idea. But I found out about a year later that he actually forged his way into the Ryder Cup. He had forged his way into NBA locker rooms during finals, Super Bowl locker rooms, and all that. And so he forged his way into the Ryder Cup, and he was right there about 15 feet from me when I made the putt.
So you're thinking you had divine intervention, literally, with a member of the clergy over your shoulder. In fact, it was just a regular gate crasher in sporting events. I love that story.
I,
That's
re- I
way too
really
good.
did.
Hey,
I
what?
thought I had a, I
What?
thought, yeah, I thought I had a man of the cloth with me, and it was just, a big sports fan.
What'd you think of as the players came back in the TaylorMade driving relief, and we're now 3 weeks away from seeing the players at Colonial at the Charles Schwab Challenge as golf starts to return? Any inkling of what you think we're going to see from players when we do get back to competition?
Well, I think the guys will be in pretty good shape. I think these guys, especially the ones that live in Florida, the ones that live in Arizona and Dallas, I know they've played some, kind of unofficial events, keeping their game sharp. For the most part, I mean, I think you have to understand that the players that live in Europe that play the PGA Tour may not be willing to come over because of the quarantine, the things that they've got to do in order
Yeah.
to play. But for the guys that live in the U.S., if the PGA Tour said, "Hey guys, we're gonna have these tournaments, but you got to wear a hazmat suit lined with barbed wire," I think they would still play. I know I would if I was playing. So I think guys are chomping at the bit. You look at the field for the Charles Schwab Challenge. It's the best it's ever been, maybe the best it ever will be. And so I think guys are excited to get back out play, not only for themselves but for the game of golf, and to give people at home something to watch. Live sports. We realize now how much we miss them, and just how many tune in to watch four players, play a skins game. We've got another match going on this weekend. NASCAR's back up and rolling, and so I think it's players realize the importance of getting back started, not just for themselves, but for the game of golf and for fans at home as well.
Yeah, Tiger and Phil and Tom Brady and Peyton Manning in that match that's happening this weekend. As we let you go, Justin, the first show we did, it's all Groundhog Day. I don't remember when it was. We had an audio issue. You were going to be our first guest, so you ended up being the inaugural host of this show. Can you tell us now, with perspective and time, where that ranks amongst the major that you've won, the Ryder and President's Cups teams, your very successful PGA Tour career, terrific announcer? Where does hosting the first episode of this show for 3 or 4 minutes rank for you in your career?
Well, I'm waiting for NBC to submit it, for some awards because, and it's this is probably historical as well. Probably the first time a host or former host has been back on his old show in just a matter of 3 or 4 weeks, and so obviously we've
That's
mended,
right. That's good.
mended relationships in order to make this happen. But
Yes.
it was probably, as I told you that afternoon, probably the shortest hosting gig in the history of television. And I'm just glad to be a part of that.
That's good. Actually, the Sports Emmy Award Committee has nominated you as Best Daytime Sports Talk Host. So there's that going for you. Goodbye. I'll talk to you soon. Great catching up. Best to you, Amanda, and the kids.
Take care, Mike. Thank you.